Howdy folks, welcome back to another week's edition of TCS Student News. I'm Jacob here with the wonderful
Tyleiah, and we've got a lot in store for you all this week. It's time to slide right into it. Take it away, Jacob.
Oh yeah, thanks Ty. My question and topic today is for our parents out there. Should you or your kids be immunized? There's a lot of debate about vaccinations. The common arguments are that vaccines cause autism or there hasn't been much research on vaccines, and vaccine injury is common and people are getting sicker. We'll have news for you.
It's fake news.
Vaccines are the most important medical innovation of the 20th century and one of the most life-saving inventions that we've ever come up with. There's a small minority of people who are convinced that vaccines are bad for their child's health. A very small, vocal minority. Now, I'm not here to criticize parents. It's very important to note that most parents want the best for their kids. They're trying to look out for their children, and occasionally in this pursuit they get misled. Professionals know exactly how to convince a worried parent that the most dangerous thing in the world for their child is a vaccine, rather than to say the measles. It's not the parents who are spreading vaccine denial. They are victims of professionals. If you are a parent who's worried about vaccination, don't stress. You're a good parent. You've just been lied to. Take it away, Ty.
So, I know you've all heard about the vaccination campaign that's been going on around the world. Well, if you haven't heard about this, let me give you a little background information on it. A mom from South Carolina named Kim Nelson started reading a news article about the religious exemptions for vaccines. She read that some kids that have diseases can't get vaccines or rely on the herd community.
What's exactly bad about that?
Great question, Jacob. This means that if a disease such as measles started to spread to the ones who are not vaccinated, then they cannot protect themselves from the measles. Nelson decided that she needed to do something quick about public health. Nelson then started her own group called the South Carolina Parents for Vaccines, which was used to inform people about the dangers of these vaccines. She wanted to move people to stop getting vaccinated because she believed that the vaccination would bring on diseases. But efforts to get people to be anti-vax started to fail. This anti-vax campaign was terrible because there is a huge case in Washington where there is an ongoing measles outbreak which has reached 65 people.
That's terrible. Is the Washington government doing anything to stop the anti-vax campaign?
Yes. Washington's government is now taking away the option for parents to choose if they want to get a vaccination or not. In places like Madagascar, over 900 people have died from the measles. So lawmakers are now thinking about passing 3 bills to stop people from trying to get vaccinated. The bill will be called the Vaccination Exemption Bill, and you could be sued for not getting yourself or your kids vaccinated. Jacob, do you think it's acceptable for parents to put their kids at risk of getting a harmful disease and not getting them vaccinated, or do you think it's a good reason to take such measures?
My opinion is the parents' decision on what they do with their child, but they should at least know the dangers of being vaccinated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, parents should be especially cautious with this not getting vaccinated their kids because of the measles outbreak that's going on.
The pros outweigh the cons in this situation, but again, it's parents' choice what they want to do with their children.
Yeah, and it's just not fair to the child. Once they get to a certain age, they should be able to make the decision if they want to get vaccinated or not.
Yeah, I agree. Did you know, in the U.S., 88% of teenagers ages 13 to 17 have had access to a cell phone? 91% of teenagers ages 13 to 17 access internet on cell phones, tablets, or other mobile devices at least occasionally. Hey parents, have you ever wondered what your child may be doing on their cell phone when you're not around? 22% of young people admit to using mobile devices to hide their online behavior from their parents. 47% of kids looked up a site their parents would disapprove of.
None of these challenges are cool, funny, or safe at all.
Oh, right. Okay. I agree. Social media has been linked to a rise in suicide rates also. Social media and suicide is a relatively new phenomenon which influences suicide-related behavior. Suicide is a leading cause of death worldwide. According to the World Health Organization, in the year 2020, approximately 1.53 million people will die from suicide. There's an increasing evidence that this behavior of social media affects and changes people's lives, especially in teenagers. There are poor regulations on sites such as YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat that allow you to look up and send anything you wish. YouTube alone is great for many reasons, but just like everything else, it has its downfalls. If your child has parental controls, they are able to access anything. Teens and adults across social media take part in challenges that are popular, such as Cinnamon Challenge, where you must swallow a whole spoon of cinnamon without any water, or the Tide Pod Challenge, where kids are literally eating Tide Pods for use to become popular.
None of these challenges are cool. They're pretty dangerous.
If you check your child's cell phone, you might just find out that little Johnny isn't so great after all.
Thank you for that coverage. Now let's talk about the Blue Whale Challenge.
What is that? Challenge around whales?
No. This is something way more serious than that. In 2016, a man by the name of Philip Bedikin from Russia invented this website where you play a 25-day-long game that then leads to suicide. This website became really popular to hundreds and hundreds of deaths around the world. Bedikin said that he was just having fun creating this website, but later admitted that the purpose of this game was to have mass murders around the world.
It's just sick. Can't even comprehend why a person would even think that'd be a good idea.
This game is absolutely terrible, and for someone to have made this game that specifically targeted children is not okay. My grandmother told me a couple years ago about this website, and she told me to never try to go on that website because it was not good news, and she was right. But for suicides to be still going on from this Blue Whale Challenge, and my grandmother told me about it years ago, is absolutely crazy. I just think that if teens get out and become more social, they won't become depressed and want to go on sites like this to try something like suicide. I feel like kids need to stay off their phones and stop alienating themselves from everyone else. When teens feel alone, they become vulnerable to these types of sites and fall into traps that was intended for them. I'm here to say, please don't turn to that choice. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I believe that you should look for some help before taking drastic measures such as this. What do you think about this, Jacob?
Can't even begin to comprehend the minds of others in this generation. Suicide game? Come on now. That's just ridiculous. From personal experience, suicide is no manner to make into the game. It's just a shame.
I know, and it's a really serious issue that we need to address immediately.
Yeah. Now it's just time to lighten up the mood.
You're right, Jacob. Let's throw some amazing TCS news at you. Take a swing.
Last Thursday, we had another visit from Miss Elaine for our weekly space lab. We observed 2 atoms in a tube with electric current running through them. We looked at them through our refracting integrator that wonderful Miss Elaine provided us with. After we were done, Miss Elaine provided us students with popsicle sticks, rubber bands, a spoon, and a cup of marshmallows. We were paired in teams of 2 and had to create a catapult that had to launch marshmallows across the room and make it into the cup that your partner was holding. This was one of my favorite Space Lab activities so far. I want to give a big thanks to Miss Elaine for driving almost 2 hours every Thursday to come out and have a class with us. Your time is really appreciated among our students.
I really enjoyed that Space Lab. I can't wait until our next class. Last Friday, we got the great opportunity to have a conversation with Miss Janara Nelson. Miss Janara is someone who is very special to the school, and we were very fortunate to have her talk to us on Friday. She was studying the African Women in Art Women's Needlework Cooperatives as income-generating enterprise. To further her knowledge, she visited South Africa to get a better understanding of what these women go through. She talked about how she got to sit in on a sewing shop and how they work together, similar to how students at the community school works together. She went on to tell us about how those who live in South Africa work but still don't get paid enough money to live on. These people were living in shanty homes, and they had to live in terrible conditions because the government didn't help out the people living there. We later went into a discussion about how the government needed to take action to help the people living in these villages. The government has so much money to make the city look good, but as soon as you look on the poor sides, it looks like a government that doesn't really care about them at all. I personally enjoy having this conversation with, and I appreciate the opportunity to open up my mind to new information. Thank you so much, Ms. Janara, for coming in and speaking with us.
Covered that story very well, Ty.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming to speak with us all Thank you, Mr. Nair. A former student that graduated last year came back to the school to help with student recruitment for the 2019-2020 school year. He spent his whole week here at the school. He was helping Mr. Tom with writing on our school website. Really appreciate you coming back, baby boo-boo.
Thank you, Marcus, for your generosity. Well, it's more and more teens in this country who are becoming lazier and lazier by the minute. They love to be lazy and sit on their phones all day long and literally do nothing with their lives.
It's a shame.
Why not do something with your free time? Like volunteer work and actually get a job to learn these values of having a job and developing a sense of independence. In the community school, my classmates and I are developing this sense of independence. Many of my classmates and I have jobs or are seeking out to get a job. I think it's really important to get a job personally, from my experience. You learn to manage your time better, and you'll learn the value in time and appreciate every minute that you have. So I encourage everyone to get out and try to get a job. Even if you are 15 and are unable to get a job either during school or during the summer, trust me, it'll be worth it. Jacob, aren't you looking for a job? Why is it getting a job important for you?
I'm looking for a job. I actually have a job interview this Friday. A job is very important to me because I'm trying to save up for driving school and would like some extra money in my pocket. It is also another escape for me to get out of my normal environment, you know?
Okay, I would like to thank the following well-appreciated people that provide lunches for us this week. Thank you, Miss Janae, Ronan's sponsor, for bringing in those very yummy tacos. Thank you, Miss Kelly, Mercedes' sponsor, for bringing in the delicious sugar donuts and lo mein and the chicken fried rice and noodles. Thank you, Miss Sandy, for bringing in the 3 trays of pasta. Thank you, Miss Peg, for bringing in the shepherd's pie. That was my first time tasting shepherd's pie, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Mimi and Poppy, for bringing in the chili, cornbread, and assorted pastries. Thank you, ACIM, for bringing in the delicious cookies for us. They were a surprise, and we really appreciate it. I wanted to say, you guys are an important part of the community school, and we don't know what we could do without you all. Now, we are now 2/3 of the way done this school year.
Daggone it, man. This trimester went by faster than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking competition.
Exactly. I hope that you all had the best grades that you could possibly get. Moving into the 3rd trimester, if you are performing to the best extent that you can, maybe you need to change. Change is an important part because you can't expect to be successful by doing the same thing and not getting anywhere. You also have to find strategies to help you get where you need to be. Make sure that your sponsors are your support system and push you to change or push you to do great work.
Well, since it's the end of the trimester, you know what that means. We got a sponsor meeting. The sponsor meeting will take place May 8th, which is next Thursday, or this Thursday. This meeting is going to be very important, so we would like all the sponsors to attend this meeting. We hope to see everyone there.
Are you looking for a school where you can grow as a person academically while in a supportive environment where you are not judged?
Well, the community school might just be for you. We need students for the 2019-2020 year. We are now accepting applications from current 8th graders and 9th grader transfers. If you think you have what it takes to be a TCS student and are looking to devote a lot of your time to better your education while growing as a person, then this school might just be for you. Our school website is always available to the public, which has much information that may answer any questions you may have. Along with that, we would like to thank Marcus, Aiden, Mr. Dave, and Donald for hanging up the banner out front of the school.
I hope that you all enjoyed our broadcast and feel very up to date to what's going on in the community school and out.
Y'all have a lovely weekend now. Bang on.